Welcome back to Biotic World. I'm Sheetal and today we are focusing on one of the most remarkable organelles in biology, chloroplast. These tiny green structures inside plant cells are the reason we have oxygen to breathe and food to eat. But there is so much more to chloroplast than just photosynthesis. In this video, we will explore their structure, function, evolution, and how they are connected to other fascinating topics like endosymbiotic theory. Let's dive in. What are chloroplasts? Chloroplasts are double membrane bound organelles found in the cells of plants and certain algae. Their main function is to carry out photosynthesis, where light energy is captured and transferred into the chemical energy stored in glucose. But chloroplasts are also involved in synthesizing fatty acids, amino acids, and even playing a role in plant immunity. Essentially, they are nature's solar panels and so much more. To understand how chloroplasts work, we first need to break down their structure. Imagine a tiny green factory packed with specialized departments. First, outer and inner membranes. The chloroplast is surrounded by two membranes. The outer membrane acts like a protective barrier, while the inner membrane controls what enters and exits the chloroplast, maintaining the perfect environment for photosynthesis. Next is the stroma. The stroma is the fluid filled space inside the chloroplast. It's not just empty, it's where the Calvin cycle occurs, converting carbon dioxide into glucose. It also contains chloroplast DNA, ribosomes, and enzymes that supports various metabolic functions. Next is thylakoid. Thylakoids are flat, disc-like membranes where light-dependent reactions take place. These are stacked into structures like grana and connected by lamellae. This arrangement maximizes surface area to capture sunlight efficiently. Next is the chlorophyll. The green pigment is embedded in the thylakoid membrane. It's the star of the photosynthesis process, capturing light energy and initiating the reactions that produce ATP and NADPH. Chloroplasts are like tiny power plants inside cells. Their primary role is to carry out photosynthesis, which can be divided into two stages: light dependent reactions and light independent reactions. In the thylakoid membrane, chloroplast absorbs sunlight using its energy to split water molecules into oxygen, proteins, and electrons. The oxygen is released as a byproduct, while the energy from electrons generates ATP and NADPH, the molecules that act as the energy currency of the cell. This is about the light dependent reactions. Next, we have Calvin cycle or the light independent reactions. In the stroma, ATP and NADPH power the Calvin cycle, where carbon dioxide is fixed into glucose. This glucose can be used immediately for energy or stored as starch for later. Did you know that chloroplasts were once free living bacteria? According to the endosymbiotic theory, chloroplasts evolved from ancient cyanobacteria that were engulfed by a eukaryotic cell. Instead of being digested, these bacteria formed a symbiotic relationship with the host cell, providing it with food in exchange for protection. This explains why chloroplasts have their own DNA, ribosomes, and the ability to replicate independently. Chloroplasts and mitochondria are like the yin and yang of the cell. While chloroplasts produce glucose and oxygen through photosynthesis, mitochondria use that glucose and oxygen to generate ATP during cellular respiration. Together, they form the core of the energy cycle in plants and sustain life on Earth. While photosynthesis is their primary role, chloroplast also functions for more. Synthesize essential molecules. They produce fatty acids and amino acids required by the plant. They store starch. Excess glucose is stored as starch granules within the chloroplast. Nexus support plant defense. They play a role in signaling pathways that help plant resist infections. Without chloroplast, life on Earth wouldn't exist. They produce oxygen, which is essential for almost all organisms, and glucose, which forms the base of the food chain. They even regulate atmospheric carbon dioxide levels, helping mitigate climate change. Before we wrap up, here are some fun facts about chloroplast. Chloroplast can move within plant cells to optimize light absorption, a process called chloroplast photorelocation. Not all chloroplasts are green. Some algae have red or brown chloroplasts due to additional pigments. A single leaf cell can contain up to 100 chloroplasts. And that's the incredible story of chloroplasts, nature's solar panels that fuel life on Earth. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into their structure, function, and evolution. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Biotic World. Comment below with what you'd like to learn next.